All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to day 3 of our E3 recap. What could possibly be the shortest Next Gen Newsweek episode of all time. Joining me tonight is Richard
Hello.
and Michael Cat Ears
Meow meow.
Sauls. Yeah. So today was the only thing that actually happened today that's worthwhile, if anything, was Capcom had their 45-minute showcase that they didn't announce anything new at, really. And then we didn't get a chance to talk about the PC gaming showcase and the future games shows from yesterday, so we're going to run through those really quick. I guess we'll start off real quick. We were kind of just talking about this before we started recording, but Richard and I are kind of on the same page about how like Nintendo really doesn't have to do much to kind of win this. If you want to make it a contest, I guess about winning this E3 over, because everything else kind of sucks. I mean,
all the big players have choked.
I mean, it really just depends if you're an Xbox fan or not. I thought the Xbox show at best was at least like an 8 out of 10. Just especially compared to like previous years where they really haven't had much to show off. And this year they showed off a lot of stuff, especially that caters towards people like me. But I have high hopes for Nintendo's show tomorrow.
I'd give them a 7.7.
Hopes.
But as you're about to find out, I don't think anything that we're going to talk about today gets above a 4 on the list. So, but we'll start with the stuff that happened yesterday. So we had the PC gaming show and then the future game show, brought to you by Western Digital Black. Very, very important
Excellent.
to bring that up in there. In my notes for the future game show, of games I was interested in, all I put was nothing.
Wow.
Because it's all, for the most part, it was all stuff we'd already seen before. I'm going to pull the list back up.
That's fair to an extent, I think.
Plus, again, like what you're talking about with the Guerrilla Collective and everything, I'm not an indie person. Now, I did think, and I thought maybe you'd be really interested in this esports boxing club game, because you're really into like MMA and boxing and all that stuff.
No, the boxing game looked great. It really did, because it reminded me of the Knockout King series that EA did before they moved on to just doing the UFC games, which, I get it. UFC is like really popular, and for good reason too. But you can't. UFC is not boxing, though. There's a big difference. I don't know why they can't do both, but they made the choices. But I'm glad somebody's kind of filling in that void, because there's just not a whole lot of like good boxing titles out there anymore.
As I'm looking at this list, and not to spoil too much stuff about stuff that I like to work on in my free time, but Richard, do you remember a few years ago where I pitched the idea about making an RPG game that was made out of paper, and it was like everything, different types of paper?
You're talking about A Tale of Paper.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, here comes A Tale of Paper. It's a platformer instead of an RPG. With a transforming paper protagonist who must fold to survive in hazardous environments. And it's like, somebody got in my head.
Yeah,
it's okay. I should have jumped on the idea if I wanted it. So,
well, to be fair, though, what you had talked about was something more similar to Paper Mario. So
True.
I think they
let them know my secrets.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, that'll come out at next year's.
Yeah. I'll be at the future game show next year. You guys watch out. No, I have another idea now. Michael, did you look at this list, or did you watch any of this stuff? I know you worked today.
No,
so
I'm so blind.
It's okay.
And then I ate, and then now I'm here.
And pooped. Don't forget.
Oh man, I wasn't gonna go into details, but you made me. So massive poop, clogged the toilet, flush it twice. I had to get like a little stick down there to kind of dislodge some of it, and it has filled the entire house full of that stank smell.
Wow.
Did you at least put on your leather gloves before you wash your hands?
I think I might have to collaborate with the CDC on this and get some notifications out there to the people.
He just made COVID 2020.
Not again.
Not again. Except this time everybody just wears paper bags or plastic bags over their heads instead. Anyway, so we got another look
You
at
have
Jurassic.
COVID.
Yeah,
If you have COVID, wear your brown pants.
Yeah. We got another look at Jurassic World Evolution 2, a game called Instinction Grow Song of the Evertree. And just looking at the art style, that actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah, Grow Song of the Evertree.
Mm-hmm.
That's like right up my alley. That's it's you plant. It's not really like a farming sim, but you take care of like animals and you take care of plants, and it just looks great. One of those like calming things, kind of like y'all. You guys ever played like Slime Rancher?
Yeah.
Oh man, Slime. Look, Mitch is like, yeah, fucking game sucks.
No, man, it's an Slime Rancher 2 is an Xbox
you ranch
exclusive.
them so hard. There's no buffalo sauce.
No,
Goddamn
I like games that are really chill, and that looks like a really chill game. So I'm actually looking forward to Grow.
I love Michael's comment in the chat. You will notice today that we are not muted, which was a community decision that we plan to implement for the foreseeable future.
That's just a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I was really excited that we did not record for 45 minutes last night. Muted. That was great. Let's see. Everything else in here we've got where was I at? Tail paper. Get Packed Fully Loaded. A souped up version of the co-op removal simulator.
It's a really interesting title.
Gatewalkers. Take on procedurally generated worlds with your friends in Gatewalkers, a co-op action RPG with unique survival elements. You'll notice that I, like most of these, did not watch them because I literally could not get off for E3 this year because I'm taking a vacation next month. Let's see.
What could you get off for? A Klondike bar?
Yeah. One of them disgusting Natty Light popsicles.
Ugh.
Dude.
I don't want to know.
We need to have like a. Oh my God, Michael, are you drinking Natty Light?
Pineapple lemonade flavor.
Wow.
Which tastes nothing like pineapple or lemonade, and just straight up tastes like Natty Light. And it's like, we thought about having this beside a truck that was near a pineapple and lemonade, like that.
And then they were like, "No, we'll just decorate the can."
That's it. That's pretty much all they did. I feel like maybe if you've had enough shitty beer, you can taste it, but I just don't drink shitty beer that often, so.
Michael, no drinking on the job, man. Anyway, let's see. We got Game Deck. A cyberpunk detective closes cases inside of isometric virtual realities in Game Deck from Anshar Studios. Did you watch that one, Richard? Did you like that one?
Yeah. I'm glad you. It almost sounded like you called it Game Dick for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Dick.
That's what I get every day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love. I say that I love Cyberpunk, but I never played Cyberpunk 2077.
Game Dick for Cyberpunk.
But I don't know. When it comes to Cyberpunk, I really prefer like indie stuff. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll play Cyberpunk, but. We'll see.
What about Timberborn, a lumberpunk? That's what the game's classified as, is a lumberpunk.
It's a beaver-based city builder.
Yep.
I was hoping it was going to be like Bloodborne, but like you're a wood guy.
Lumberborn.
Well, it takes place in the future, and there's no humans. They're all dead.
Sounds like a great place to live in, honestly.
Yeah. After the humans die, the beavers take over. So.
Not one flowing body of water. This doesn't exist. Trifox, a horde brawler with a retro 3D art style. All about mixing and matching between foxy combat classes to surpass challenges and upgrade your build. The Rift Breaker, a cross between a base building tower defense game and a hack and slash action RPG. And what was the only one I missed in this was Beacon Pines, a charming adventure full of critters. So why are all these games like animal based? Like there's no humans in any of these indie games.
The furry revolution, man. Look at Michael's head.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
they're
They
coming,
came out with
man.
Animal Crossing, and they were like, "Shit, we need more furry stats." And that's what they came up with, was all these games.
Let's see. Red Solstice 2 Survivors 8-player co-op XCOM is the best way to sum up what that game is, coming out on June 17th. What I thought was weird that showed up, where's it at? That they showed off Sonic Colors Ultimate at the PC show. Like that, I mean, that just kind of feels out of place, but I'm not one to judge. But
You didn't talk about Lake.
I haven't got there yet. I mean, I'm kind of bouncing around.
Sorry.
I just remember that Sonic was in. But yeah, okay. So let's talk about Lake, Richard.
You move to a lakeside
town.
You move to a lakeside town in 1986 and settle into life as a postal worker.
It looks really good in the screenshot that I see.
It's coming for PC and Xbox, so Sony players will miss out on life as a female postal worker in the 80s.
I bet there's old white men making sexist comments at him.
Yeah, that's probably
Cat calling her from across the street.
Wait, is this the animal game still?
No.
Okay. No. This.
It would have been funny though. What about Eldest Souls?
What's really weird is that in the description they had to say that it was a Souls-like game, even though the name of the game is Eldest Souls. Any game from this point forward, if it has Souls in the title, it's right? And there's been a lot of these. I'm going to be honest. This looks a lot like a
Blumpkin.
A game that I have played that is Souls-like, that looks like this, that I can't think of the title right now. Damn it.
I can't get over Michael saying a Blumpkin.
What is the name of the game that I'm thinking about? It looks just like this. Only it's more roguelike. It's like a rogue Souls-like. I don't know. I've got here. Well, y'all can move down the list. I'm going to find out what the hell I was thinking about real quick.
Okay. Enlisted, a World War II shooter with large-scale squad-based combat and heaps of realistic atmosphere.
Ooh.
Cross-platform and out now on PC, PS5, Series X, and Series S. Severed Steel, a super-fast stunt shooter with destructible voxel environments, coming out on everything except for Switch. Let's see, we got... God, there's actually a lot more games in here than I thought there was. Real quick, I'm just going to name these off. Dice Legacy, Gestalt, Steam and Cinder, Iron Combo, Kung Fu Janitor. Definitely not Fried Chicken Incorporated. A unique management game where you have to use above-board fronts to mask your narcotics empire. Okay, I'm interested. Ranch Simulator. That's probably the 18th simulator game that was announced at E3.
But only the second ranch game.
Yeah. Skim, Silt, Dome King Cabbage. Nicholas.
That's a Chinese game, isn't it?
Probably. Quick, give me 3 words and put them next to each other. Dome. You're seeing that guy on TikTok where he's like explaining how like people come up with like the different words for like streets and roads and stuff, and he said they're just contemplating with himself about where these came from. This reminds me of that. Let's see. Starmancer. It's a roguelike against fighting powerful AI. Did you find the name of that game?
Yes, call back to Eldest Souls. It looks a lot like Dead Cells.
Oh yeah, okay. Now that you said that, I totally.
Which Dead Cells was really good though. I mean, it had like 2 things of DLC that came with it. I mean, it had its popular following. I was part of it, so more than likely I'll try out Eldest Souls. I'm a slut.
Excellent.
Let's see. What about Kiwi? A game about... Wait, is this another Postal Service game? The cute Kiwis who run the Postal Service in this charming co-op puzzle game.
All right, man.
Kiwis with headphones
Postal Service is in, man. It all started with Death Stranding.
I was going to say Paperboy on MES.
I hope it's like moving out, actually.
Oh,
just like you're trying to sort mail.
Yeah, like that. Remember that mini game in Wind Waker? To get the mail bag, you had to sort the mail. Give me that.
Yeah.
Whole game. Link's crossbow training 2, you cowards. Death Run TV. I've heard of Chernobylite before. Let's see. No, there's nothing for me to read on Chernobylite, unfortunately. The Team 17 showcase. Check for clips from Hell Let Loose, Super Magbot, Hako Life, Honey, I Joined a Cult, King of Seas, Greek Memories of Azura, and Shelter 2. It was also revealed that Overcooked All You Can Eat will be getting some anniversary content on August 9th.
Nice.
Harold Halibut, an indie darling with a magnificent art style, the stop-motion adventure game from the Slow Bros. Never heard of them. Probably a scary-ass game called Happy Game, coming out on PC and Switch with a demo available right now.
Smiley faces come out of the arms come out of the eyes of the smiley faces.
Thanks,
sounds very graphic.
But no thanks. I'm out. Minute of Islands. Young mechanic Mo striving to reclaim a broken world with their Omni Switch. It'd be really funny if it didn't come out on the Switch, honestly. They're going to call it the Omni Switch. More gameplay of Dying Light 2. It's probably the only thing I'll ever go back and watch out of this, because I'm a slut for Dying Light and zombie games.
No, man. Your 2 Point Campus.
Ew.
It made another appearance.
Ew. All right, Ollie World, coming to PC and all current console platforms. Tales of Iron, a adventure described as an adventure RPG with a unique art style, very specific. And it looks like every other RPG I've ever seen. God of War and Twisted Metal director David Jaffe took over the show to announce a showcase of movie games coming out. Collaboration of VFX House Platige Image for a forthcoming crime and mob and mafia game. Other games featured include Lust from Beyond, Fire Commander, and Winter's Survival Simulator. What a mouthful. I feel like this is just like I made this in 5 minutes. Let's talk about it kind of thing. Xseed Games offered footage for Akiba's Trip, Hellbound, and Debriefed Shadowverse. What is all this? There's so much stuff. It's all coming to Switch though, but it's Akiba's Trip, Hellbound, and Debriefed, Shadowverse, Champions Battle, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, Rune Factory 4 Special, and Rune Factory 5 all coming to Switch next year.
Which, I mean, it's all well and good, but Nintendo needs to update the Switch shop, make it more user-friendly, add a search function.
No, what they did is they updated the Switch and then broke the eShop for everybody. So
yeah, they added this new feature where you can't download anything. It's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Batora Lost Haven is an action RPG.
We saw that at Gorilla.
Nice.
It looks awesome.
We also saw 2 Point Campus at Gorilla.
Yes,
but we're gonna skip it.
I don't know why you don't want to build your own university.
Because it's not like if I succeed at it, it's gonna wipe my college debt away.
I don't know. Did either one of you guys play 2 Point Hospital? Because I'm gonna be honest, it looks like The Sims, but I don't know if you actually control the individual like Sims or if you just control the construction of like the buildings and stuff, and they just react to what you've done.
I don't know. Project Ferocious, a tropical island shooter exploring a lost world full of fantastical creatures with a highly cool code name and some killer visuals. And what it looks like in this screenshot, I haven't watched it, but it looks like this dude's left-handed, and that's so different. I've never played a first-person shooter where the character was left-handed. And if that's legit, I'll probably try that just to see what it's like. Because I don't think I've ever played a shooter with a left-handed character in it.
I mean, have you ever played Metroid?
No.
Oh my god. Why am I on this podcast? The biggest Nintendo fan has never played Metroid.
All the first-person shooter Metroid games require motion controls, so
your Nintendo card just got revoked.
Actually, I don't know if she's right or left-handed. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn it, Michael! I don't know either.
She's right-handed. Going off of Smash Brothers, she shoots with her arm cannons on her right hand. So, I guess I am the real Metroid fan, huh? Let's see, Conway.
Hold on. Let me just so I want to interrupt just for a second because I typed into Google, is Samus Aran or Iran? I don't know. How do y'all say her last name?
Aaron.
I don't.
Aaron. I've always said Iran, but I've never actually heard anyone within the realm that would say it. So, and like the most
whatever way you spell Iran or Iran, she's Al Qaeda for sure.
Right. So like where it auto populates like the most common asked is Samus Aran a woman? That's number 1.
Beautiful.
Is Samus Aran human? Number 2. The third question though, is Samus Aran left-handed? So, and then 5th is how is it pronounced? So
there we go.
Let's see what Google says.
Google says, "Why are you looking at this, you giant bird?"
Naturally right-handed, but has adapted to be able to capably use her left hand for most things.
What the hell? This did not answer. Oh wait, no, it auto-populated as a woman. Never mind. I was like, it's telling me she's a girl, and I was like, what the hell does that got to do with her hand?
Well, you see, most women are not.
She's ambidextrous.
Have you ever just gone on? I know. I know this. I'm trying to just fill this show up, I guess, and I'm just gonna really quickly just go through this because it's just so stupid. You ever go on Google and just typed in "why does"?
I am right now.
It's probably gonna be different for everybody. Mine says, like, my list of things says, "Why does my left side hurt? Why does the Metroid save Samus? Why does my left eye twitch? Why does my stomach hurt? Why does my eye keep twitching? Why does my butthole itch? Why does my cat lick me? Why does why does my throat hurt? Why does my dog eat grass? And why does my pee smell?"
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not in that same order, but I have literally every single one of those. But I have 2 additional. I have why does my chest hurt and why does my lower back hurt as well down there. So that's what people have replaced going to the doctor with Google.
Yeah. And then they'll believe anything WebMD tells them. All right, just quickly wrapping up the this one. We got, I think this last game is Immortality. Let's see. It's made by next game from Sam Barlow of Her Story and Telling Lies, and focuses on a disappearing film star called Marissa Marcel, with writing from Alan Scott from The Queen's Gambit, Amelia Gray from Mr. Robot, and Barry Gifford from Lost Highway. All right, and let's jump to the PC Gaming Showcase.
Oh no, you missed out the Game Builder Garage. Sorry, never mind. That's an ad. That's not. I thought it was part of the list of what we were just talking about.
Available now on the Switch for $30 or $40, however much it is. So again, another look at Dying Light 2. More stuff for me to go look at. Just another game comes out December 7th, and you won't hear from me for a week when that game comes out. Orcs Must Die 3 is no longer a Stadia exclusive. So if you were someone who picked up a Stadia being all, yeah, I got my Orcs Must Die 3. That's nothing else that no one else will ever have. And now it's on everything else on July 23rd. Old Man Santa Claus, Gabe Newell, announced that there's going to be a Steam Next Fest from June 16th to June 22nd with lots of demos coming out on Steam for free for people to try out. Wow, this show's not as long as the rest of them. We got another look at Dodgeball Academia. I don't think we talked about that during the Gorilla Showcase or Devolver, whichever one it was at. Humankind, a strategic simulation game from Sega. And then, Richard, the third Vampire the Masquerade game announced in the past 2 years. Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song.
I saw that. That's, as opposed to, I'll probably check out that Blood Hunt, even though it is a battle royale, just because, man, I love Vampire the Masquerade. That goes way, way back with me. Swan Song I'm very interested in because it looks like you play a female protagonist with a daughter. And I'm curious to see what that's about, because you cannot vampires can't procreate. That's first. And then second, you can't turn a kid. That's like, you get a blood hunt on you, like the Battle Royale thing. So I'm kind of curious if she's a vampire and her daughter is still a human, and that's why she's been separated. I don't know who those scientists are. I know that the human bad guy element in Vampire the Masquerade is a kind of like a clan of vampire hunters called the Society of Leopold. So I don't know if that is like an offshoot of them. I'm really interested in Swan Song. That looks amazing.
So we got Swan Song and then Blood Hunt, and no word from Bloodlines 2.
No word on the big one.
Yeah. So which tells me is that these two other ones are going to get delayed next year, and then we might hear about Bloodlines 2, and then they'll announce 3 more Vampire the Masquerade games.
I feel like Swan Song is coming pretty soon.
Also, Lemnis Gate, a hybrid multiplayer shooter real-time strategy game where players fight each other in asynchronously in 25-second bursts. What? War Tales, a strategy RPG. Band of medieval mercenaries go from town to town, taking on quests and getting into scraps. I saw that real-time thing, and it made me think of something real quick. Yesterday we were talking about Age of Empires 4 that was announced in the Xbox showcase. That is a PC exclusive that they showed off.
No, I'm glad, because those games don't work with a remote or a controller, rather.
Yeah. That was just weird that they showed off a PC exclusive. And then I got a notification about like an hour ago that they're discontinuing Windows 10 in 2025 or something.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, Hello Neighbor 2, we got a lot of stuff on Hello Neighbor 2 in the past couple days. And Songs of Conquest mixes fantasy city building with turn-based hex combat. So that was all from the PC gaming show, which this is the one I think that had that really weird opening then. It had like the 3 people. Did you guys watch? I know Michael didn't probably, but like Richard, did you watch the actual show at all?
Of what?
PC gaming
Capcom?
show?
Oh, no, I did not.
They it was so stupid. I was listening / watching it on the way to work this morning. I was getting ready, and like they had the host of it was like, it was like a whole skit thing, and it was so stupid. Like if you wanted to see some ultimate cringe, go watch the beginning of the 2021 PC gaming show, because it's just anyway. So now let's jump to the big one especially for console gamers, and that is Capcom. And when I say big, I mean not really, but whatever. They announced 3 things. It's just, one of which we thought was going to come at some point, and then 2 of which, or 2 or 3, whatever, that we've already known about. So the big one was that they announced that they were making DLC for Resident Evil Village. That is the only thing that was announced that we didn't know about in this showcase. And Richard, as our Resident Evil correspondent, how do you feel about DLC for Resident Evil Village, and what would you like to see in DLC?
Okay. First of all, I didn't appreciate the announcement. And I know that sounds weird because I do love Resident Evil, but, tell me something I don't know. Like, it's a given. I mean, you're going to make DLC of course you are. As far as what? For anyone who has not finished Resident Evil Village, there's about to be spoilers.
No.
Do either of you care?
No, I watched the whole game.
No.
Okay. All right. So, spoiler warning starting now. There's a couple of ways they could go through it. Now, at the end of the epilogue, you get like this little text thing that said, the story of the father is finished. I'm paraphrasing here. And I guess the next story is about Rose, the daughter. I personally don't think that you're going to play as Rose in the DLC. You might, maybe. I think they're probably going to save that for something larger. There's something else that happens prior to the epilogue that I think they could go with the DLC, and I really think this is where they will go. So, unless you followed Resident Evil lore and story like really closely, none of this may make sense. But I'm trying to think of the name of the group that Chris joined before. What you've played through Resident Evil 5, right, Mitch?
A long time ago.
You don't recall the group that Chris was with, though, do you?
Oh, I'm sure I can look it up while you're talking about it, though.
Okay, so eventually it's separate, but the group that he was with gets involved with what's known as Blue Umbrella. And Blue Umbrella is it's an American pharmaceutical company that their mission statement is to basically right the wrongs of what the original Umbrella did. So whatever group that Chris is with kind of partnered with Blue Umbrella to do their investigating and, right these wrongs and everything like that. Something happens along the way, I think probably with the events of Resident Evil 7. They kind of started to fray at the edges, and Chris started to kind of drift a little bit. So when the climax of Resident Evil 8 happens, they send forces in. Now, Chris is there with his own team. He's kind of rogue at this point. He's got his own little special ops team that he controls. And they fight the forces in the village, and they recover one of the bodies of the soldiers, and it's on the helicopter. And one of Chris's guys is like, Chris, look at this. This isn't a soldier. It's actually a bioweapon. It looks humanoid, but it not necessarily like a zombie. It kind of looks like a gray human being with like veiny kind of. I mean, you guys play Resident Evil. So At that point, Chris immediately wants them to redirect to the HQ in Europe, because he has questions on why they're suddenly using biomutants or bioweapons when they're supposed to be getting rid of bioweapons. I think that's the DLC right there. I think whatever Chris does in Europe will be directly related to that. So that's my thought process.
Is that group called the BSAA, the Bioterrorism?
Yeah, the BSAA. Alliance? See, Chris was working with the BSAA for he's working with them in Resident Evil 5. And then they partnered with that Blue Umbrella, who, they're like, and they call themselves Blue Umbrella to separate themselves from the original Umbrella that used red. They're supposed to right the wrongs that Umbrella did and be this great company, but something's going on. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's where the DLC. I think you'll play as Chris in the DLC, and I think it'll have to do with what's going on with the BSAA. I don't know if he'll get rid of it, because I don't know who those guys were that picked up Rose when she was at Ethan's grave in the epilogue. So
did you ever see the what people were able to do in that cutscene where they were able to clip the camera to see who that person was that was walking towards the car that they stopped for?
No, who was that?
It was Ethan. At least they used Ethan's character model, maybe just assuming that no one was going to go see it. But if that was supposed to be Ethan, that was Ethan's model that was walking towards the car that they stopped at.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maybe, again, I've never played Resident Evil Village, but I know enough about it to make this spoiler assumption. But maybe the version of Ethan you play as in 8 is just a mold, and then that's the real Ethan. Bum, 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 bum.
Well, no, the real Ethan died in Resident Evil 7.
Maybe he was brought back to life. Bum, 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 bum.
He was brought back to life. He was brought back to life by the mold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they were like, I don't know. I think maybe they're looking too much into that. I don't think that's Ethan. I think they were like, hey, we're going to do something really cool and really mysterious. They're never going to see the guy's face. We don't have to worry about making an individual model. Just use that Ethan because they've never seen him.
It's true. All right, and then they announced that the Reverse multiplayer mode is coming out next month.
Yep.
Are you gonna play Reverse?
I mean, I'm gonna check it out. I don't know. Again, multiplayer is not really something that I get into really deep, but I like the idea of like you die and then you come back as a bioweapon, and I mean, I think it's gonna be fun, but I don't think it's something that I'm like every night I'm gonna be like, oh, it's Reverse time, yeah.
Yeah.
Not like Riders Republic. That might be an every night thing.
I can't wait for that game to come out. So next was Monster Hunter Stories 2, which if you don't know anything about that game, it looks like Pokemon, but it's like turn-based combat, and the monsters are your friends instead of you trying to hunt them. And that is coming out June 25th. I'm sorry, demo is out June 25th.
I have a 7-year-old girl that went absolutely apeshit over that. Or whatever. I think because dragons. She loves dragons. Dragons are popular now amongst little girls because there's a Netflix cartoon based off of that How to Train Your Dragon called Rescue Riders. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a big following to dragons right now.
She's gonna get really big into Monster Hunter one day, probably.
One day, my little Siri.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Monster Hunter, I mean, next thing on here is Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, if she gets into stories and likes it, she may end up one day being like, I want to play Rise. Or
God, now I'm going to have to start playing Monster Hunter.
I've heard Monster Hunter Rise is much more accessible than Monster Hunter World, which they said that game was very accessible for people who never played before. So it's possible. I probably won't buy it, but that's probably a good place to start at.
I'm gonna check it out.
They announced that game's going to have a crossover with Monster Hunter Stories 2. And it's getting a free update that's adding, wait for it, sunglasses and the ability to play possum in front of a monster so they'll leave you alone.
I'm sure some of those monsters are still going to fuck you up.
Probably. And then, I don't know if this is the way you close it or not. They actually closed the event with like a 10-minute esports reel. But the last game they showed off was the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I thought that like I liked up until I saw this. Like I've never seen a trailer just turn me off from a game so fast before. Like it was like a 5-minute demo and they're barely talking over it, and it's just you have to just read the text. And anytime I'm playing a game, I always have like the text, on the fastest speed. I'm mashing A. Usually don't give a shit about the story. But if I'm going to watch a trailer, I want to know what's going on. And so whoever's playing this game is just mashing that A button as fast as they can. You can barely read the shit that's going on. But I got some notes from that. The game takes place in Japan, uses not the whole thing, but it is these parts of the United States court system. Everyone has Australian accents, and the main character's name is Herlock Sholmes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And then my last note just says, what a letdown. So.
That's probably the best note to leave off on is Herlock Sholmes.
It was weird. Like the only like part of the court system was set up like like I said, the United States. I don't know. I guess the other thing's just made up because I'm assuming it is because you had like the judge, you had 6 jurors, and then you had these 2 scales with like a black fire and a white fire in it. And I guess all of the judges like immediately just assume that the person's guilty, and you have to go back and like cross-examine the judge or the jurors and like figure out why their stories don't make sense and help them like change their mind about their vote. And like, okay. And then in the trailer, like, you're not an old Russian man, you're a pop star diva dressed up as a dude. And she's like, yeah, you caught me. How did you figure it out? Well, we walked in on you trying to cut your hair. And she's like, oh.
Also, you're humongous bazongas.
No, they were hidden under a robe. Ooh. A very muted brown robe. But that was the Capcom show. They wasted 45 minutes. I'm pretty sure the pre-show and the starting soon screen that they had were longer than the actual episode. Kind of like this.
Sad.
Kind of like this. Actually, never mind. We've actually been talking for like 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, I know.
And the pre-show which was just showing trailers, was like 30 minutes. So I mean, we're doing better than Capcom.
I hate to circle back because we've already moved on. I went off on a tangent. Did both of you watch the trailer to Vampire the Masquerade's Swan Song?
No.
Oh well, never mind. That conversation wouldn't work unless you watched it.
We can spend a little bit of time talking about it tomorrow. Yeah. Before we get.
I don't know. I'm hoping that we're gonna have a hard time fitting everything Nintendo does in an hour.
Oh no, tomorrow is totally gonna end up probably being an hour and a half episode. There's gonna be like 6 of us on tomorrow. So.
Oh
wow. I'm assuming 6, give or take. But what was I gonna say? Was there anything like, I guess I don't really know if anything Capcom related, but like was there anything you were kind of hoping to see out of this, like maybe Street Fighter 6 or any of the other games that were announced in that Capcom leak, like maybe Resident Evil 4 remake or anything like that?
I wanted a Street Fighter 6.
Maybe a little too soon, but maybe another Capcom versus Marvel. I mean, both of them are set up for that.
Yeah. I don't know. That one wasn't in the leak, but I would totally be okay if it showed up.
Yeah, Dimitrescu versus Wolverine. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Or like
awesome.
Or Mega Man something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd have been
awesome.
awesome.
Saying that if they ended the show with Mega Man, it would have saved the whole thing.
I was because the little preload, when it says Capcom show starts in so many minutes, you saw Mega Man like standing on one of the things over there, and for a split second I was like, no, come on. And then I got my hopes up, and then I don't know, I saw the show and I was just like,
womp womp.
Well, that's E3 2021 for you.
A whole bunch of womp womp.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to just give everyone just a chance. Is there any last minute predictions or things you would like to see at Nintendo's show tomorrow? That we may have already talked about, but you want to bring emphasis on, or
in comparison to other things they could talk about, I feel it in my gut, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fanboy. I really feel like Punch-Out. I feel like something.
Treasure Hunter Toad coming to Smash as an assist trophy.
I mean, it's possible. I think tomorrow, I think that the show's gonna open with Crash Bandicoot coming to Smash. I think that's pretty much a given at this point.
Are you kind of hoping they still do like the whole Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, King K. Rool, kind of like sleeping in the tree house sort of thing for the reveal?
That'd be cool if they kept building on the same trailer. Like this time, it showed Banjo and Kazooie taking a nap with them too. But I don't think they would do that trailer just because Crash isn't a rare IP. Now, if they added Conker, I could see them doing that. Like if they're like, "Oh yeah, here's Conker" for some effing reason. This is swearing squirrel that shits on people and gets drunk.
Man, could you imagine if like they just showed up tomorrow and like they announce a new Punch-Out, they announce Metroid Prime 4, they do Breath of the Wild 2,
Arms 2?
Hey, potentially
they do
Arms 2.
Mario RPG remake, just like completely like just
Michael, that's going to be called Legs.
Not Legs. No, I didn't like Arms. I want an actual Punch-Out.
I'm here for it. I think tomorrow we're gonna find out if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year, and if it's not this year, I think it's early next year. But not close enough to compete against Pokemon Legends. And depending on where that game falls, Mario Kart 9 is gonna take the opposite spot of it. I think that rumored F-Zero game that leak was talking about may actually be real. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I think that's possibly something that could be real. And there's supposed to be a new Donkey Kong game that now people are saying is actually a 3D Donkey Kong and not a
Yeah.
not a 2.5D. So maybe we're getting a remake or a reboot of Donkey Kong 64.
No, it's gonna be Donkey Kong, but it's gonna play like God of War.
Oh,
It's gonna be fantastic.
Man.
What if they
You throw
made
bananas
like
boomerangs that come back.
what if they made like an F-Zero game, but it was like that. Like it was just a third-person action game, but it was F-Zero. And they
See, I would be down for that. And you like jump in and out of race cars and stuff, and hell yeah.
No, make it like Cyberpunk, like it's some super
yeah.
futuristic world, but like you're mainly souping up your car instead of yourself.
What if
Yeah.
Cyberpunk comes to Switch via the cloud and it has F-Zero DLC exclusive to the Switch?
Beautiful.
F-Zero and Star Fox deal. You think that? What if they announce a new Star Fox? You think it's time for a
No.
Star Fox?
I think if anything, we'd see any crossover DLC like that. It'd be in GTA.
Dude, I'm hoping they announce everything.
GTA, but with
Everything.
Did you ever see that? I think it was an April Fool's video that IGN made a few years ago, but it was called "Everything Comes to Nintendo Switch," and it was just like this sizzle reel. It was this sizzle reel thing that started off like legit. It was just like, everybody get ready because an HD version of Ocarina of Time is coming out today, and next week Majora's Mask is coming out, and then like it got out of control just so fast. Like,
All joking aside, the way I'm looking at it is if they're really trying to gear people up for a new Switch and they want to push hardware, then this E3, if they're gonna announce it now, this is a really prime shot for them to blow everybody else out of the water by going at the end of it and really sell themselves on something spectacular. Especially if they've got new hardware coming.
The tweet says they're focusing exclusively on software, but that might not stop them from like, oh well, thanks for tuning into all these game announcements. Here's Nintendo Treehouse, and they're gonna like snap their finger, and then it's gonna be a Switch Pro hardware thing. And then there was that thing from GameStop yesterday that said trade in your Switch towards get extra trade-in credit towards new Nintendo Switch. So. But apparently that may not be right, and apparently they're just saying, hey, you can trade in your Switch and get extra trade credit towards buying a new Switch. And it's like, I'm in dire need of a new Switch, so I mean, if you're not going to give me a Pro, I might as well just upgrade to a regular one. I'm pulling up that.
You don't have a regular one?
I mean, I have a regular one. I want to get like the V2 one that's got like the better battery and the
gotcha.
all that stuff, and it doesn't fall.
I mean, like
after 5 seconds.
if they put out a Switch Pro and GameStop's got a good trade-in deal, I'd probably get the Switch Pro. It depends on the trade-in deal, because that's why I got a Switch.
They were offering
man.
They were offering $225 for the regular Switch to trade in.
Really? Wow, dude. Because I can't remember now because it's been so long, but I got a hell of a deal trading in my Wii U for the Switch.
I think it was.
I wanted to say, yeah, it was either 200 or 250. Yeah, it was a big chunk of change.
Oh, I got this everything coming to Nintendo Switch thing pulled up. So yeah, they start with Ocarina of Time. It says this trailer was on April 1st. It comes out winter 2019, and then they got some dude that looks like he belonged to Nintendo Direct. And they're like, oh yeah, Wind Waker, and then what was the next one? Scrubbing through this, Wind Waker also winter 2019. Majora's Mask, Winter 2019, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Link's Crossbow Training, Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, Faces of Evil. It's just like they just start grabbing everything, and then like it just Mario 64, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Half-Life 2, GTA 5, Mass Effect, and they're like, oh, thanks for looking at those headlines. Here's more: Portal, Metal Gear Solid 2, Batman Arkham City, Red Dead Redemption 2. The Witcher 3, which actually they got that one right. So, and dude's just freaking the fuck out. Fallout 3, Overwatch, that one's right. Mario World, Modern Warfare 2, and like he keeps like cutting back. Eventually, it literally. I'm pretty sure they say Pornhub's coming to the Switch at some point on here. Yeah. Here's where's it at? Nintendo Switch Simulator, Xbox One S, Xbox One X coming to the Switch, and then the dude's just spazzing the fuck out. Star Fox 64, Sonic Leashed.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Sonic Unleashed.
No, it's Sonic Leashed. That's what it says.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Celebrity Deathmatch, Microsoft Paint, Mario teaches typing, Mario's missing, Comcast customer service, TurboTax, Carfax, Uber, WhatsApp, Facebook, Tinder. Okay, I'm done. This is so much shit. I want them to do that exact thing where it's just some dude just going ta 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 ta. He just goes. I'm gonna send that to y'all. All right, well, that's gonna do it for our day 3 recap of E3 2021. Tomorrow is the grand finale of this, and I haven't decided, and we'll leave it up to everybody else when we talk about it if we want to do a real show this week as well. But I'm totally okay with just making tomorrow the last one and taking a break. But tomorrow is the Nintendo E3 as well as Bandai Namco, and then we'll talk about Vampire, whatever it was called that Richard wanted to talk about.
Just something that the Vampire game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something weird that like the trailer seems to have absolutely nothing to do with the game's description on the website. It's so weird. Like the trailer really makes it look like you're this female vampire who has a kid for some reason, and that you're separated by these people and they're trying to do experiments on you. But then the synopsis of the game, you play 3 different vampires that are kind of getting caught up in the political machinations of Boston, which is completely different from the trailer. So
can't wait.
There was also, just real quick, there was some follow-ups to some of the Xbox stuff from yesterday. Like, they did a multiplayer deep dive on Halo and everything, but I think we're all, well, I don't know about everyone, but some people who were not on the show that only have 2 points in trivia are really done talking about Halo. So, kind of just not talking about it for a while. But they announced that Everwild, which is one of their big games that they had coming out relatively soon, is getting rebooted. And I mentioned yesterday that it was weird having a game that was announced for 2023, but they just announced that Everwild's coming out 2024. So probably still going to come out before GTA 6. Just being honest. But anyway, that's going to do it for day 3 recap of E3. We'll be back tomorrow with Nintendo, Bethesda, and probably a lot of effing people on this show. And I'm excited. I love it when there's a lot of people on here. So stay tuned, and we will see you all in the next one. Michael, do you have a plug, or you wanted to save it for later?
Well, we're not going to talk about my butt after that big old poop, but I just want to wish everybody have a good night. Y'all get some sleep. We got a big day tomorrow. Bye.
We have a very big day tomorrow. Nintendo show starts at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. Good Lord, I can't think of what it was called. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.